With this declaration, we're transforming our approach to managing migration in the Americas. Each of us is signing up to commitments that recognizes the challenges we all share and the responsibility that impacts on all of our nations.
The president spent the past week meeting with more than 20 leaders at the Summit of the Americas in Los Angeles. One key issue, immigration. The group issued a joint declaration aimed at unity and cooperation.
This is just a start. There's much more work remains to state the obvious. Every country needs to work together to maintain a humane and orderly immigration process, to invest in securing the borders, screening and registering migrants who enter their countries, and repatriating those who do not qualify to remain. I hope more countries will see the potential for joining the Los Angeles Declaration.
With me now is Rear Admiral John Kirby. He's the White House NSC Coordinator for Strategic Affairs and former Pentagon Press Secretary. Rear Admiral Kirby, thank you so much for joining us. I want to talk to you about the significance of the Los Angeles Declaration on Migration and Protection. What are the hopes for this approach to migration?
I think what this declaration really does that's different and new is it signs all these countries up to a truly regional approach, that it's not just a bilateral issue between the United States and Mexico or any other individual nation, but they're taking a holistic approach here. It's about making economic development better in those countries to reduce some of the causes of the migration, the causes that force people to leave, working on better issues around criminal justice, cracking down on human traffickers, and taking a real regional approach, a multilateral approach. And that's what makes this declaration so different. And that's why the president is so optimistic that other nations will join too, when they see that if there's a team approach applied to it, it can really have drastically different results.
I know the president, from when he was vice president, even has been focused on the root causes of migration, and that's something that Vice President Harris as well has been very focused on. Now, that kind of work on the root causes depends a lot on partnerships, and Mexico's president refused to attend the Summit of the Americas because the leaders of Cuba, Nicaragua, and Venezuela were not invited, he said. At this point, what's the communication between the United States and Mexico leadership like, and how do you plan to work together on migration?
Well, I think our relationship and partnership with Mexico on so many issues remains very vibrant, very strong. And Mexico was represented at the Summit of the Americas. They sent their foreign minister. The president respects the president of Mexico and his reasons for not going, but they did send their foreign minister, and they were very active throughout the entire 3 days of discussions. And again, we expect that partnership will continue to be strong. As a matter of fact, the president of Mexico will be coming to the White House here in early July.
According to internal documents obtained by NBC News, the Department of Homeland Security is planning to use federal funds to bus migrants to shelters in cities that are far from the border, beginning with Los Angeles and later Albuquerque, Dallas, Houston. How is the administration ensuring that those cities are prepared to provide shelter and safety?
Well, look, I will be working closely with cities and municipalities across the country, of course. Look, the president believes that immigration reform is important, but he also believes, again, that there's a shared responsibility across the region, and that's what the Summit of the Americas was really all about. But, of course, we'll work with state and local authorities as we can try to deal with the issue that we have right now at the border.
And before I let you go, I want to switch to gun violence for a moment. Today, of course, we saw a major bipartisan framework deal on gun reform. That's something that the president has been pushing for. What's the reaction from the White House on this particular framework?
Well, I think you saw the president spoke to this a little bit earlier today. I mean, he welcomes this proposal. He would like to see it on his desk as soon as possible. He's been very honest. It doesn't have all the initiatives that he would like to see us as a nation address with respect to firearm safety in this country. But he does think it's an important step in the right direction, and he's looking very much forward to having it on his desk so he can sign it into law.
Rear Admiral John Kirby, thank you.